Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for this new video around my campaign Operation Dark Winter. Today we are doing mission number 6, and our goal is to stop a weapons deal between two enemy factions. So this is the board we are going to play on today. And the weapons deal is happening in this part of the board. As you can see here, there are a lot of tables with some weapons laying around, and the two red tokens are the two group of enemy. One will be the rioters and one will be the cleaners, and I will unveil them once I have a line of sight on them. And yeah, as usual, we have all the enemy placement token placed on every tile of the board, and now I will do a first roll to define the point of entry of my forces on that table. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 6. So let's do our first roll, and it will be a 5. So 5 will be that point over here. So I will set up my models. I will also do the roll for the Fog of War card, and yeah, we'll see you just after that. So here are the roll for the Fog of War card. So I will draw one card at turn 3, one card at turn 6, and one card at turn 9. So this is done. The enemy here are prepared to be to spawn. Here I've deployed my troop by binomes. Not sure what's the English word, but by pairs. Here we already have one enemy token, one enemy placement token that doesn't look that great. We have one over here next to the bus. We have one here next to the construction machines. But yeah, we'll see what we end up doing in the first turn. And here I've placed all my models with their gear. All the dice represent the ammo token that they have in their magazine. And yeah, we are now ready to get started for the first turn. Actually, before starting the mission, I forget to place some supply supply ammo boxes present on the board, so I will just roll one dice, and it's a 3. That means I will have two weapon crates, ammo, supplies, weapons tokens placed on the board. So I will place those randomly on the board and I'll show you where they are located. So let's now start with turn 1. Turn 1, I have this first token over here quite close to my two models here. My agent of the division is between 9 and 10 inch, and she is an elite soldier, so she detects that on a 2+, so I will roll that, and it's a 4, so I detect that first token. I will draw the card just after. Here I also have that token, and I have those two models that I have line of sight on this one. It's within 18 inches, and one of them is a professional, one of them is a trained, so let's first roll for the professional. And a 5, so I detect also that one, and that's it for the detection. So I will draw the card, first that one, then second the one next to the bus. So let's draw a first card. Oh, okay, so we start with the enemy leader right away, just present in front of us. And now let's take the second card, and it's an enemy level 1. Yeah, sorry for the glass. So we have already two enemy pods that just spawn on our table. Since the last mission, the way enemies spawn on the board have a bit changed. As you can see here on the card, there is just mentioned level 3 card. It's because it's now tied to this table over here that tells which model actually spawn on the table. As you can see, there is there should be more, there should be 12 lines, but yeah, anyway, right now we are fighting rioters, and to choose which enemy group will spawn, I will simply use 6 face dice for the easy difficulty region, which are the rioters. Then I will use some bigger dice for some more harder faction in the campaign. So here let's start with the level 3 card. I will use a simple dice, I will roll that dice, it will be a 2, and I will refer to that table. The level 3 enemy for a 2 will be 1 leader and 3 assaulters. So it's already pretty bad. We already have a group of 4 enemies, and I don't have 4 silence weapons. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I only have 3 silence weapons, so yeah, we'll see how we handle that. And here we have the level 1 enemy, so let's again roll a dice. It's a 6, so level 1, a 6 will be 2 assaulter and 1 random, either a tank or a sniper. A new role will define which one, and it's a 6, so it's a sniper. And actually there is a new rule that I will introduce in this campaign regarding sniper, but yeah, we'll see that in a moment. So we'll first set up the 2 enemy group, and then we can move on to the movement and tactical action phase. So that's the 2 group of enemy that I have randomly selected. Now I will roll a scatter dice to define which direction they will be facing. So first for this group over here, so they won't be facing my direction, so that's a good point. Maybe I can actually try to skip them to avoid them. Yeah, we'll see. So they are not facing me, they are facing that direction. And for this token over here, let's roll. And actually this group is facing, they're facing exactly my direction. So yeah, let's place down the true group and move on. One of the new rules I'm introducing in that game also is the sniper placement. So here is the sniper I should have spawned with this second group over here. But what I've changed is that the sniper doesn't spawn directly on the street, they actually spawn in on top of the building. And I will select that randomly between that 2 buildings over here. So on a 1, 2, 3 it will be that corner over here. It's actually on the building but the closest to the enemy group that just spawned. So on a 1, 2, 3 it will be over here, and on a 4, 5, 6 it will be over here. And a 6, so it will be here. So let's just take that model, I will place her over here, and let's just define which direction she's facing. If she's facing, if the dice tell me that she's facing in that direction, I will just re-roll until she's facing a correct position. So that's miss, that's a miss. Oh, come on. Okay, so she's facing actually quite where I just spawned. So she's just facing down the street. So yeah, not that great of a start. And also, when one of the new rules with the sniper is that when she spawns on a 1, 2, 3, she will be on Overwatch, and a 4, 5, 6, she won't be in Overwatch. And on a 1, 2, 3, she's in Overwatch. Perfect. Okay, what a nightmare of a start. Yeah, let's move on. First turn, end of my movement phase. All my models just run here on the side, so they can't shoot that turn. They just wanted to avoid that enemy group over here. But while they run on the side, they entered line of sight of the sniper over here. So this sniper is an untrained model, and it was within 22 inches, so she detected on a 6. So let's take 6 dice, 1 for every model that moved, and I will just roll all of them. Oh, that's great. So okay, I don't have any 6, that means that the sniper didn't detect any of my model moving here on the left. So now I can jump into the enemy movement phase. Let's do a first roll for this group over here. So this team will move 3 inches in that direction, and for the second team over here, this team will move 6 inches down the street, actually toward the area where I just spawned. So let's move that. The sniper here over here will remain in Overwatch as long as nothing happens on the board. So this first group over here will move just toward the end of that street, and here the 2 models just move over here. And also something I just remember is that here I just move closer to that card over here. I have actually kind of line of sight on that model, on that token, so let's roll a dice and let's pray it's not any more enemies. So it's 1 civilian, so that was the 2 we already rolled. 1 civilian, that's perfect. Let's grab 1 civilian from the box. And actually that's great. I will try to get closer to her and try to take control of her to bring take control of her to bring her to my base of operation, because if you don't follow, I have a whole base building mechanic in that campaign, and I need some civilian actually to man some room to get some bonuses. But yeah, there is a dedicated video for that. So end of that turn. Now let's yeah, just trying to think. Yeah, nothing else that turn. I checked those models doesn't have any line of sight on my troops. So yeah, let's move on turn 2. Turn 2, end of my movement phase. Those 4 models here move toward the civilian there, and those 2 models that were just next to that car move on the back of this construction machine, and those 2 actually enter line of sight on the sniper. So we'll again test if she detects that. So she detects on a 6 and a 5 and a 1, so she doesn't detect any of those 2 models. So now I have my police officer here, Shane Walsh, that will try try to convince that civilian to join the base of operation. So I need to do a command test. So we'll throw a dice, and I need. So how does command work again? So the higher the command, yeah, the lower the dice needs to be. So I will roll a die, actually, I will roll a die, and I need it to be a 1, a 2, or a 3 for the command test to succeed. So let's do that. And it's a 2, perfect, so I take control of that model, so she will follow me. I can move her like any of my model, and I will need to extract her from the board. Actually, this extraction point here, this exit is way too hot with the 2 enemy pod and the sniper. So maybe what I can try to do is send a group of my models maybe toward this area over here to try to loot some police vehicles and try to extract the civilian here. But yeah, let's see. So here, end of my turn. Now let's move on to the enemy movement turn, and we'll start turn 3. And actually, turn 3, I will draw 1 card from the Fog of War deck. So this group just move over here, this group move back toward the supply crate. Actually, the 2 supply crate that was randomly positioned, there is one over here and one just there next to that pickup truck. So now let's move on turn 3. Turn 3, I will draw my first Fog of War card, and okay. So it's a Black Tusk Scout team. 1d3 Black Tusk soldier enter the area from a random table edge. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at what does the Black Tusk look like. So let's first do a quick roll to define how many Black Tusks. So we'll have 2 Black Tusk plus 1 of their unmanned ground vehicle. So we'll select randomly all of them, and actually let's first select where they will spawn. So it's on a random table edge, so again at entry point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. Sorry for the shaky movement. So it's a 1. So this team of an enemy will enter the area from that table edge. And oops, actually the cable just stuck to the crane. Let's remove that. And yeah, I will randomly select them, place them on the board, and show you what they look like. So this is the Black Tusk Scouts team that just spawned on the board. We have two simple assaulters with some standard carbines, and we have this also cool drone. I will place on screen the stat card for that drone, and actually they are not facing me, they are facing the table. So let's just move them like that. And actually here it's start of turn 3. When Black Tusk units are present in the board, they always have the initiative, so I don't have the initiative anymore. They will start first, and actually they already have line of sight on that token. So let's roll. Let's draw a card for that token, and it's an enemy level 1 card. Okay, so this game is going to be fun, I think. So let's have a look at the table. Too much thing. One enemy level 1 card. Let's roll a d6. A 3. It will be 2 assaulter plus plus a rusher. So I will place down over here 2 assaulter and a rusher, and we can move on to the turn 3. So that's the 3 assaulter, that's the 3 rioter that just spawned, one with the SMG with the red hoodie, one with the baseball bat, and one with just a pistol. They are facing, not directly, but they saw that enemy group, so both are alerted, and the Black Tusk have the initiative, so we'll check what they are doing. Actually, only the Black Tusk is alerted. Here they don't start the turn alerted. So a 3 and a 5. 3 and a 5, so flank, move and shoot. And if no line of sight, sprint, but I have line of sight, so they will try to flank that group. They are already in a pretty good flanking position, so I will just maybe make them like this one over here will move on the side of that building to gain cover. This one here will just simply stay over here. Behind that, she will benefit from 2 points of cover between a concrete barrier. And the drone over here has an agility of 8. So it can move 8 inches. So we'll just try to move on the side and get ready to shoot at that enemy group. So the Black Tusk move. Now let's move on to the movement phase for my team. Something I forget to do is that the weapons deal that is happening over here between the rioters and the cleaners is ending up at 2d6 turns. So we just roll 2 dice and it will end normally at turn 8. But if some unsuppressed fire happen in the board, they will start to get suspicious at each other. And I will roll a d6, and on a 1 to 3 they will start to fire at each other, those 2 tokens over here, and on a 4 to 6 the deal will continue. So yeah, let's move on to my movement phase. End of my movement phase, my first group over here move toward the back of the ladder, and actually, oops, sorry for the spider nest over here. They have line of sight on this token over here, so let me check the range. So 9 inches. 9 inches, so I have 1 professional and 2 trained. The professional detect on a 3+, so he detect that token. Let's draw 1 card. Empty. Okay, so that token on the back over here is empty. Nothing there. So my idea is probably to take this group over here, try to climb the stairs and maybe move on top of that building to have a good view of the surrounding. I still have Shane Walsh over here that have this climbing kit, so he can quickly also go on top of that building. And since a firefight will happen around that area pretty soon, this team will try to come back on its feet, try to go towards the firefight. And also, since it's the leader, they will try to call in reinforcement every turn. But luckily, I have Alani Kelso over here that have a jammer. So it's effective for 6 turns. So actually, yeah, right away I will use the jammer, I will deploy the jammer, block all enemy comms. Oh, actually also enemy autonomous vehicle receive a -2 to all their stats, so actually the little drone over here is affected by the jammer. Actually, it could be quite fun for this drone to kill a lot of enemies, so I don't have that much enemy to kill myself. So I will wait to deploy the jammer and see what happens. So end of my movement phase. Now let's move on to the rioters movement phase, so this group, and then we can have a look at the shooting phase for the Black Tusk. Start of the shooting phase for the Black Tusk. The drone over here will fire in automatic at the rusher. This model will fire at that one, and this model will fire at that one. So let's first roll for the striker drone. So he have a shooting stat of 2, and he fire on automatic, so he fire 3 shots. And actually a 6, a 5 and a 4, it's an automatic kill. So the first model is automatically killed, he can't beat that. So this one is killed. Now this one will fire at this one. On a, she's wielding a carbine, so on a 1 to 3 it will be a standard shot. So she's doing an aim shot, so a 3 plus her shooting stat of 5, that's an 8. The Rioter have a defense of 1, so there is no way he can beat that. So this one is a hit. Now let's roll on the lethality. A 3, yeah, let me grab the rules. So she basically have this kind of carbine and it's only lethal for a 4+, so this is not lethal. So let's roll now on the casualty. So it's a 2. It's not lethal, it's not a really bad wound. Where is my... it's over here. Casualty table, 2 medium wound, the model is stunned for 2 turns and suffer -2 to their move and agility stat. So this guy over here is stunned. Now let's do the last shot. So this one is firing a double shot, a rapid fire, a 5, and the second shot will be a 4. With their shooting stat of 5, it's automatically a hit. It's automatically a kill actually. So this second one over here is automatically killed. So end of their shooting phase. I don't have any shooting on my end. This one is stunned and is not alerted. He will be alerted only start of next turn, so he can't shoot that turn. So that's the end of turn 3. Let's move on turn 4. Turn 4, the Black Tusk have the initiative, so let's roll on the Zablanc Doctrine. 2 and a 4, 2 and a 4, hold and shoot. So they will remain in position and keep shooting at that enemy guy. So that's the end of the Black Tusk movement phase. Now the whole board is alerted. We'll roll to define what the weapons deal, what is happening over here on a 1 to 3. They start to be suspicious and they will start to fire at each other. And a 1, oh my god. So basically here I will spawn some enemies and they will basically start to fire at each other. Let's have a look at what kind of enemies. So for the... it's a level 1 enemy, so here on the Rioter side we will have 2 Assaulters and a tank. And on the Cleaner side we'll have simply 2 Assaulters. Okay, so let's place that over here. During the shooter phase we'll have a new firefight over here, and then I will jump onto my movement phase. So here is the 5 enemy models that just spawn, and they will start to fire at each other at the start of the combat phase. But now let's move on the movement phase for my team. So what I will do, this team I will move that on the back to try to climb the stairs, and this group over here I will just move them toward this side. End of my movement phase, those 2 guys move toward the back of the side of that car to try to hide behind it. This model started to climb and is roughly at the middle of the wall, and my 3 police guys over here are just behind this dumpster. So now let's move on to the combat phase for the Black Tusk. No, let's actually, the Rioters will start to move toward the gunfight. So this enemy group will move 6 inches in that direction. Actually, they are now alerted and they don't just simply move, they roll on the Zablanc Doctrine. So a 6 and a 2, 6 and a 2, careful, so tactical and shoot. So they will just do a basic movement. And the second team over here will do the same, a 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5, flank, move and shoot, and if no line of sight, sprint. So let's do a standard move first. 6, they don't have line of sight with just that move, actually. Actually, they have line of sight on the drone, so they will just fire at the drone during their movement phase. Moving on to the combat phase, the drone here just spotted the two guys that just move in his line of sight, so we'll try to fire at the one on the right, and yeah, any of those two models will fire at the remaining rioters there. So let's do the shooting at the injured rioters first. So on a 4.56 it's a rapid fire, so 2 shots. A 6 and a 4, so that's a kill. That's a kill. This one is kill. Now the drone. The drone, let me just look back at the card for the drone. Actually it's firing an automatic, but I don't remember the range. So the drone is firing with a shooting stat of 2. It's within 12 inches, so his first range interval is 8. That means he got a -1 to the shooting roll. So let's do the roll. So a 2 and a 3, so basically it's a 1 and a 2 with a shooting. Actually he's firing in automatic, so one more shot. A 5, so this one is a 4 with a shooting stat of 2. And my cleaner have a defense of, my rioters have a defense of 1. So here we have a 3, let's roll defense on that one, so that's a fail, so is it. Defense on that one, that's a 4, and that's a 3 in defense, so the first 2 shots hit him and kills him, so this one is killed. So damn, the drone is damn lethal, and yeah, the Black Tusk guys too. So that's the end of that combat phase. Also, what I didn't mention is that this sniper over here move on this side of the board, and he has a line of sight on all the 3 enemies over here. So now let's move on to my combat phase, and actually I won't do anything that turn. So let's move on to the rioters combat phase. The sniper over here, I'm not sure who he will fire, so this one is a pretty good cover, so either this one in this one, on a 1, 2, 3 he will fire at that one, and on a 4, 5, 6 at the drone. So it's a 5, it's a 5. Let's have a look at the rule for the drone again. Actually, I double checked the rule, and she's equipped with a heavy sniper rifle that have the encumbering rule, so she can't move and shoot that turn. So she can't move, no, she can't shoot. Now let's have a look at that model. He have a carbine, so on a 1, 2, 3 standard shot, he will fire at the drone. So it's a 6 plus shooting stat of the rioters of 2, that's an 8. Any modifier, he doesn't have any scope. Yeah, so that's an 8. The enemy drone have a defense of 3. So that's a 7, that's a hit. So the first shot hits the drone. Now let's check lethality. He have a carbine, it's lethal on a 4+. So 6, bam, he got a lethal shot on the drone explodes and crash on the ground. So the drone is out of combat, but we still have those 2 Black Tusk over here. And actually what I will do during my turn is actually loot that car for resources, because since now I have the base building mechanic in that game, I need to find some resources. So let's have a look at our table for looting resources. So that's the one. I will roll 2 die, a 3 and a 4, a 3 and a 4, and I found some ammo. So that's cool. Ammo is number 3. So what I will do, the simplest way I found for that is to place 1 die. Ammo, it's a 3. I will simply take 1 die, place it on the character that looted it. It's a 3, it's the ammo number. So this guy, Francis Valuesula, picked up some resources. He picked up 1 ammo resources, and he can pick up to 2 resources because he have an agility of 2. So this vehicle over here is looted, but there are plenty of other ones. And some interiors, yeah, well, I will really need to gather some resources in that game, since now I need to build my base. So end of the combat phase, no more rioters, I have some line of sight. Oh no, actually there is that big firefight over here. So what will happen is that the cleaners will start first. The two guys in the yellow, let's have a look at them from the other side. At the yellow clothes. So they are equipped with some battle rifle. They will try to fire at the enemy. They will... what they will fire? So on a 1, 2, 3 they will fire, the two of them will fire at the tank, and on a 4, 5, 6 they will both fire at the assaulters. So it's a 3. They will, the first one will fire at the tank and we'll see what happens. So they are equipped with some battle rifle that doesn't have any specific rule. So they will just do a standard shot. A 4 cleaner, they have a shooting stat of 3, so that's a 7. Now let's check defense on the tank. Oh, that's a pretty good defense. Defense 5 et un 6, but that's still a hit. But he's equipped with a heavy body armor. Let me just find back that rule. Is equipped with a heavy body armor, that's somewhere, heavy body armor. Subtract 1 from lethality roll made against a model. So, first the shot hit, now let's roll for lethality. 4 it's lethal, but it should be a 3, and I will need to re-roll the lethality roll, so a second roll, and it's a 5, -1 because of the body armor, that's a 4. But that's still a hit. That's still a kill. Battle rifle 3+. So this enemy tank here is down in the first turn. That's really a shame because I expected more for this guy, especially with his heavy body armor and his rocket launcher. But yeah, that's the game. Now let's move on. This model will fire at the most dangerous guy, which is this one with the carbine. So battle rifle, he will do a standard fire, it's a 1 plus shooting stat of 3, that's a 4. Rolling defense is passed, is okay. So this one, the shot missed. Now let's move on to combat phase of those two rioters. So this one will fire at that one. So again, 1, 2, 3, standard fire. He's firing at 4. He has a red dot sight and maybe a laser sight. So 4, 5, 6 plus his shooting stat of 2. So that's an 8. Rolling defense. Defense 4 plus 2, that's a 6. So this one is a hit. Checking casualty. It's not lethal. Checking lethality, now checking casualty. So 4, what kind of wound it is? Oh, I have too much piece of paper around. So 4, we have serious wound. The model is stunned for 2 turns and suffer -3 to their move and agility stat. He can only fire a sidearm, but he doesn't have one. So this one is basically out of combat. Now this one will fire at the other guy. 1, 2, 3 standard fire. 1 plus his shooting stat of 2, that's a 3. Rolling defense, that's a 4. Defense is passed. So just a token on this one. He's injured and he actually can't shoot anymore. He might try to do some melee next turn. So that's the end of the combat phase for turn 4. In 2 turns we'll have a new Fog of War card. Let's hope it's not something that crazy and things can be a bit cooler, but yeah, we'll see. Start of turn 5. Turn 5, no major order except for that model that entered Overwatch. Then we had the movement of the Black Tusk. The Black Tusk rolled a 5 and a 4, so 5 and a 4, that was reckless, tactical and shoot. So basically they just move ignoring cover. This one just tried to move toward the enemy that killed the drone, and this one just all same thing, try to move on this side, but it triggered the Overwatch from that sniper over here. So sniper will fire, It's a 6, boom! 6 -1 because of the Overwatch, but +1 because of high ground, that's still a 6. Shooting stat of 2, that's an 8. That's an 8. Now checking defense. 4, defense of 2, that's a 6, so this shot hits him. It's a Navy sniper rifle, lethality of 2+. 2+, it's lethal. This guy is killed automatically, is ripped in half. So only one more Black Tusk over here, but we still have some cleaners and some rioters that are fighting each other over there. But that's the end of the movement phase for the first faction that activate, which is the Black Tusk. Now I will activate my agent and move them on the board. End of my movement phase. Alani Kelso moved on the side of that car to be able to loot it during the next combat phase. This guy moved on top of this building with the climbing kit. Those two guys here moved on top of the staircase, and probably next turn one of them will jump on top of the building too. And this one stay in cover behind the dumpsters, because we have one enemy token over here and a couple more down there. And that's it for my movement. Now let's go on to the enemy movement phase. So I just moved all the enemy placement token. We have one here and one here that arrive on the back of the Black Tusk agent. There is 2 over here. There is 4 in this area over here. One more. There are plenty of them actually. And we have just one that entered line of sight of my SWAT guy over here. So I'll just draw one card for that one first. So one card. Oh, okay. New civilian. Good. So here we have a new civilian that just arrived on that part of the board. So that's a good news, because that means that our extraction butler, this part of the board will be probably our extraction point. At least no one is there. And yeah, that's good. I still we have this firefight going on, and the objective of the mission was to kill those 2 groups of enemies. So if they kill each other, it's mission accomplished, and then I just need to extract. I have one civilian over here that I need to extract. I will try to rescue the second one, but I saw I need to loot and to I need to loot some resources, and I need to find some better gear too. So I have that building that I can loot. There are at least 2 rooms on the upper floor. I can try to loot those rooms. Yeah, we'll probably do that actually with the 2 cops. And we have that building that we can loot maybe, but there are really tons of potential enemies over there. Yeah, we'll see. End of my movement. The enemy, the rioters move. Now let's jump onto the combat phase. The Black Tusk will start first. The Black Tusk over here will just fire at the guy in front of her. So she's firing 3 plus your shooting stat of how much? 3, 5. That's an 8. Rolling defense on the rioters. That's 1 in defense plus 5. That's a 6. So that's a hit. Checking lethality. That's not lethal, and that's a simple wound. So this guy is just stunned. Won't be able to fire really well that turn. And that's the end for the combat phase of the Black Tusk. Now let's move to our combat phase. Actually, still nothing to shoot at for our turn, so I will just, with Alani Kelso, I will loot that building, not that building, that car. So having a look at the campaign mission loot table, I will just roll 1 white and 1 black dice, 3 and 3, that's nothing found on this car over here. So that's pretty much the end of my combat phase. This guy actually, does this guy have line of sight on the sniper? He have line of sight on the sniper, but I still want to remain undetected, at least until until all my guys are in good position to shoot at the enemy. So yeah, let's stay like that for now and jump onto the combat phase first of the cleaners over here. I just forget to move them in the movement phase, so I just did that. Those guys here moved in cover, and this one just rushed in a melee combat. So we'll do the melee combat first. The cleaners have a melee of 3 plus, so that's a 7, and the rioters have a melee of 2 plus 1, that's a 3. So the cleaner win the melee fight, and this model is killed. And we still have this one, so the cleaners over here will fire at that guy over here. 3 plus 3, that's a 6, rolling defense. 2 then 1, that's a hit, checking lethality, it's not lethal. And it's a really terrible wound, so this one is almost killed, he's just bleeding out. Actually, he have a sidearm, he will be able to fire back. He's just bleeding out, so he's equipped with, as you can see here, with a pistol, so he will be able to fire at the cleaners just in front of him. Also, since we still have some cleaners available over here, I will just reveal that token to see if it's some enemies. Okay, so this one is empty. Nothing over here. What next? Maybe this one could have line of sight on the cleaner, so let's reveal also that one. Oh, and that's a level 2 enemy. So let's roll a die. Level 2 enemy, a 4. It's 3 assaulter and 1 thrower. Okay, 3 assaulter, 1 thrower. So a pretty large group. 4 new enemies. Rioter just spawn over here, so we'll place them on the board, and they will be able to fire also at the cleaners in this alley. And yeah, let's see what it happens. So this group here just spawned behind the police car and will start to engage them, but first this injured model that is bleeding out will fire at that guy over here that is also injured. So he's firing at 3 minus 1 because he's injured, that's a 2, plus he's shooting off 2, that's a 4. Rolling defense, okay, so that's a hit, rolling defense on the cleaners, and since that cleaner is already injured, the second, the hit from this pistol just kill him. So this one is killed. Now we have, let's move on the combat phase for this guy. This guy is stunned, so he's firing with a shooting stat of 1, and a 2, that's a 3, rolling defense on the Black Tusk. And the defense is passed, so this one doesn't have anything. I will unveil that token. Nothing on that token, so nothing over here. We might have this token in the alley that has line of sight on the Black Tusk soldier, so I will reveal that token, and it's again empty. And finally, we also have that token on the side that have line of sight on the Black Tusk agent. So, last token. And here we have 3 civilian. Okay. So, 1, 2, and 3. So here we just have those 3 civilian. Oh damn, 3 civilians, that's a lot. I will totally love to put my hands on that number of civilian. I will need to do a command test on all of them if I want them to join my force. But yeah, they are still pretty far from me. So no more rioters on that side. This token here doesn't have line of sight. And yeah, let's move on to the combat phase for this group. So those 2 will fire at that one. Let's start with the first one. He's equipped with a carbine, so 1 to 3, it's a standard shot. a 1 plus a shooting stat of 2, that's a 3, and a 6 in defense, so this one doesn't hit the model. Then the second one is equipped with it's an SMG2, it's an SMG, the first one was a carabine. So 1 to 3, it's the standard shot. A 5 plus a shooting stat of 2, that's a 7, rolling defense, and this one is a hit, checking lethality, not lethal, but it's a pretty bad wound. A 4 is serious wound. Model is stunned for 2 turns and suffer -3 to their move and agility stat. He can only fire a sidearm, but it doesn't have one. So this guy can't shoot anymore, -2 to his stat, and he basically can just do a melee like his buddy that was just killed before. So that's pretty much it for now. I will just also roll for reinforcement for the enemy leader, because I completely forget about that. 6, that's a miss, so he can't call any reinforcement that turn. So that's the end of this turn. So we start now turn 6. Turn 6, we have one new Fog of War card, and it's clear. Okay, nothing on that turn. I'm fine with that. Let's move on to movement phase. The Black Tusk agent here, 1, 2, 1, 2, it's a rush, move and shoot, and if no line of sight, sprint. So it's rush. Rush is as flank but shortest path toward the enemy. So this guy is the shortest enemy, and let's say you know that the sniper is here, he will just try to move out of sight of the sniper. So we will just move there to have line of sight on, to keep line of sight on that guy. And that's it for the Black Tusk. Now let's move on to the movement phase for my models. End of my movement phase. This guy over here, Francis, just moved tactically on the front of that car. He's just crouched, so he's moving without making any noise. The agent of the division over here move toward the back of this car, and she will try to use her Stinger Hive. So it's a deployable that fires some, it's a Stinger Hive that fire basically some dart that attack all the enemy within his radius. So she will try to launch that item over here just in front of the group of enemy. I will do that just after. This guy move on the side of that building over here, and if I just come inside, the two police agents, one moved, this one over here, and this one sprint. So this one can't loot, but this one will be able to loot the interior of the building to find some resources. And on the back over here, we have the SWAT guy that entered contact with the civilian. So let's actually do that first. He will do a command test. He needs a 1, 2, 3 to take control of that civilian. And it's a 2, yes! So one more civilian that joined my forces. So we have those two civilians over here that I can control now. That's perfect. Mission is almost done, because I just need that guy to be dead, and there are tons of rioters. So mission is almost done without me doing anything, but I'm fine with that. I will still need to kill a few people and try to loot some dead bodies, some weapons, and some vehicles, but yeah, we'll see that later. So now let's try to launch that Stinger Hive. So let's roll a dice. A 4. She have a shooting stat of 5. That's a 9, and I needed a 10, and I needed a 8 to land this item exactly where I want. It's exactly like a grenade. So I managed to pass the test, and it landed right there. And in the shooting phase, when the enemy will move, this Stinger Hive will attack all the 4 enemies over here, but I still have those 3 guys that will also try to shoot at them. So that's end of my movement. Now we'll switch to the rioters movement phase. And actually, the only cleaners left over here. End of the enemy movement phase, the sniper move back on that part of the building. The rioters here move in close combat to that Black Tusk. Those guys move toward the cleaner that try to move toward them to enter close combat, but since he is injured, he didn't manage to get in a close enough range. So let's actually do the combat roll for those two. So first, the Rioter is attacking 5, plus a melee of 2, that's a 7. Defense on the Black Tusk, oh, okay, so the Rioters managed to kill the Black Tusk. Damn. So this one is killed, and the Rioters is still up. Okay, so that's no more Black Tusk. We still have 1 cleaners, but since he's it will be killed that turn probably. And yeah, now let's move on to the combat phase. The Black Tusk is down, so I have the initiative. I will be the one firing first, and we'll see what this Stinger Hive will do to that enemy group. The Stinger Hive basically acts as a soldier with a shooting stat of 1, so I will basically just roll as an attack. So I will first attack that one, then that one, that one, and that one in the order. So let's first roll for the first. That's a 4 in attack. Now let's roll defense on that first Rioter. Defense is failed. That means that this first shot on the first guy over here is a hit. The Stinger Hive attack with a lethality of a 5+. Let's roll. And it's lethal. Okay, so this one is already killed. Let's roll for the second one. So again, rolling attack. 1 + 1, that's a 2. Not that great. 3 in defense, so the leader over here is not injured by this attack. Before actually attacking the 2 other with the Stinger Hive, I will do some attack with my model to try to gain some stat boost. First, I will take Shane Walsh that will try to fire at the sniper over here. So Shane Walsh is equipped with a Springfield Armory SOCOM 16. Yeah, he's not within the second range interval. So let's do just a standard fire. I can just basically do that. So let's do fire. Oh, that's a 1. Terrible. 1 plus a shooting stat of 4, that's a 5. No bonuses since you have the same height as the sniper, so a 5. Rolling defense. That's a 3 plus 1 in defense of the Rioter, that's a 4, so actually that's a hit. Rolling for lethality, that's a 5, and the SOCOM 16 is a 3 plus lethality, so that's a kill. The enemy sniper is killed. And let me just grab my pencil to make a note of that kill on Shane Walsh. Oh, actually, Shane Walsh just gained 1 point, and you also lose 1 ammo. Okay, so let's have a look at in which stat he will gain 1 point. 6 is a reroll. 6 again a reroll. That's a 3. It's in shooting. Perfect. So he gained a stat point in his shooting ability. Okay, that's done. So now the enemy present on the board know that I am here and they will try to engage me on the next turn. So now let's kill some people with my 2 guys over here. So first with Francis Valenzuela, is equipped with that MK-A1 tactical. He will fire 1 shot at this model over here. Ah, terrible. 1. You have a shooting stat of 1, that's a 2, plus the Ratnik, that's a 3. that's really bad. And 4 in defense for the enemy, so the defense is passed, the shot miss him. Then I will take Annie Kelso. She's equipped with the Uzi as her main primary weapon. She will fire in automatic, so 3 shots. So let's remove some bullets first. So this one remain just 3 bullets. She will fire 3 shots. There will be only 2 ammo left in her magazine. So 3 shots, 1, 2, 3. 6 and a 3 and a 2. So let's roll defense on the 6. Actually the defense on the since the Rioters can't beat that. Let's roll defense on the 3. And this one is a hit. 3 plus 1 in defense, that's a 4, but Alani Kelso have a shooting stat of 5, that's an 8, so this she killed him. And so those 3 guys shooted, and now let's do the final shooting stat, shooting with the Stinger Hive. So again here I will take 1 die, Stinger Hive shoot with a shooting stat of 1. So that's a 5 on the last one over here, because I missed the shot on the leader, so on the last one. That's a 5. Rolling defense, 3 plus 1, that's a 4, so the shot hits her. Rolling on lethality, lethal on a 5 plus, so this is lethal. She is killed by the Stinger Hive. And the Stinger Hive doesn't give points to the person holding it. It just fire with a standard weapon that give a stat point. But actually, yeah, Alani Kelso killed someone. And I just noticed that I just have 2 kills with Alani Kelso prior to this mission. I probably have missed a lot of check mark on Alani Kelso. So that's the end of the combat phase for those guys over here. Now, yeah, that's the end of the combat phase for me. Now let's move on to the combat phase for this group over here. And since there are 3 armed people, I can just assume that this guy will be automatically killed. And yeah, let's move on to the next turn, turn 7. Actually, before jumping on turn 7, I have 2 police officers in that building in the first floor, and one of them can loot that room over here. So we'll throw 1 white and 1 black dice, and that's a 4 and a 4. 4 and a 4, that's some building materials. Building materials, that's a 4. So we'll just take a dice from here, like the white dice over here. I will use them for resources. And that's a 4, and this is police officer Dan Espinosa, find a building material. So okay, that's great. Now let's move on turn 7. Start of turn 7, the enemy commander here will do a command test. That's a 3, and actually the test is passed. I think the command, yeah, is 4 on the rioters, so that means that some enemy reinforcement will arrive on the board, and they will arrive in 1 turn actually. Next turn, 1 enemy level 2 will arrive on the board. Okay, now end of the command phase. Now let's move on to the movement phase. I will move my models, and yeah, see you just after that. End of my movement phase, Alani Kelso moved on the back of that school bus to try to kill the enemy leader. This guy here moved just more toward the enemy group that are in the street over here. We have Francis that move and try to seek cover behind the trashes over here. We have the 2 police officers that came at each window. So we have some good firepower from that building because they have 1 M4 and 1 an RPK, so we have some good firepower there. Next we have a SWAT guy that move toward the street over here, but it still doesn't have line of sight on any enemy for now. So now let's move on to the enemy movement phase, and I will move the different group that we can see on the board. So the enemy leader just rushed toward Alani Kelso and enter in melee combat. Then those 4 models here did a tactical move, so they gain +1 in their defense stat for that turn. So let's start actually this combat phase. We'll start by resolving the melee combat over here. So we'll do a first roll for Alani Kelso, that's a 2, plus her melee stat of 6, that's an 8. Now let's roll melee for the enemy leader, that's a 2, and I think he have a melee of 3. So that's that one. So that's a 5. So Alani Kelso, with no surprise, succeed the melee fight and kill that model. So what's great is that we start to have a lot of dead body over here. I need to loot that vehicle and some other for resources, but that one contains some equipment that could be great. Next up we have that model that actually have line of sight on that token that just moved. So let me grab the ruler and check the distance. So this model is located between 11 and 12 inches from that token, and this one is within 11. So let's first roll for the guy on top of the building. He's a train and it detects on a 3+. That's a 4, so we detect what's on that token. Let's draw a card. Okay, two civilian, we have enough enemy to deal with for now, so I will just grab those two civilian, place them on the board, and next turn I will just try to run away from the shooting. So quite a lot of civilian in for now on the board. Yeah, let's just switch to the rest of the combat phase. So this model doesn't have any line of sight on enemy model. This one rushed behind the bus. He want to flank those guys over here, but he can't shoot on anyone. He doesn't have line of sight on Alani Kelso either. So let's now do the combat phase for those three models over here. I will start first with my police officer that are inside. So we have this model here is equipped with the RPK, but he moved that turn, so he can't RPK. He can't use the sustain fire rule that turn since he moved, so we will do an automatic fire up to 3 shots at -1, but +1 because he is in a high position. Bipod, if static, is not static, so don't care about that rule. So let's, first let's roll. We will fire 3 shots at the thrower over here. The thrower will gain +1 in defense because he's behind some cover, +1 also in defense because he did a tactical move. So we have a 5, 4, and a 1. So let's check shooting stat. We have a shooting of 3. 3, that's 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an 8. So we have an 8 and 7. So let's try to beat the roll the defense for the 5. So that's a 2. We have a defense of 1. That's a 3 +1 for the cover, +1 for the tactical move, and -1 for the automatic fire. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6. So this one hits him. Let's check lethality on that one. And the first shot is already lethal. It's lethal. The RPK is lethal on a 4+. So this model is killed instantly. And now we have this guy over here, Dan Espinosa, who is equipped with the M4 submod. Actually here we fire 3 shots. So here he will do... Actually this weapon doesn't have any rapid fire rule. Oh, I thought it had a rapid fire rule. But no, apparently not. So so yeah, he will just do a standard shot. He's equipped with his compact and laser sight, 16 inches, so he's within 16 inches. So we'll do a standard shot at the most dangerous one, which is probably that that guy here over here with the MP5 SD. So we'll do standard fire. That's a 5 plus 1 for the compact, plus 1 for the laser sight, 5, 6, 7. So that's a 10 with his shooting stat of 3. That's a 10, so he can't beat, the enemy can't beat that. So that's automatically a hit. Now let's take a dice and roll for lethality. It's lethal on a 4+. It's not lethal. Let's check on the casualty table. That's a 3. On the casualty table, 3 Serious Mule, the model, is stunned for 2 turns and suffer -3 to their move and agility stats. He can only fire with a sidearm. And actually, he doesn't have any sidearm, so that's actually great for me. He won't be able to do much for the rest of that mission. He will just be able to enter melee combat. Now for the 2 other guys, we still have Shane Walsh on top of the building. So yeah, we have Shane Walsh over here. He will just fire on the guy on the right that have the carbine. So Shane Walsh will fire with his SOCOM 16. It's not within 22 inches, so you won't be able to use that rule. Yeah, let's just do standard fire. Where is my dice? Standard fire. 4 plus his shooting stat of 5, that's a 9. Plus 1 because of the high ground, that's a 10. The enemy can't beat that either, so let's check lethality. 3 plus lethality, that's a 4. It's lethal. This one is also a direct. It is killed. And that's the end of my combat phase. Yeah, that's the end of my combat phase. No more model have line of sight on enemy. This one doesn't see anyone. So yeah, let's move on to the enemy combat turn. Start of the enemy combat turn, we have this model over here with the 2 pistol. He will fire 2 bullets. So let's roll for that. A 3 and a 5, actually that's pretty bad. Pretty bad for me, not for him. He fired at the guy on the roof. Yeah, either the guy on the roof or the guy that are in the window. They are all in a pretty good cover. So yeah, he's probably firing at the last guy that fired, which is the guy on the roof. So he's firing at minus, let's say -3, because he can barely see just the head of my guy on the roof. -3, does he have any bonus? No, he doesn't have any bonuses. So he's firing at shooting stat of 2. Shooting stat of 2, 5, 6, 7. That's so basically the first is a 4. And the second is a 2. So I need to beat a 4 in defense. 4 plus my defense of 2, that's a 6. I beat that one. And this one, I beat that one too. So I managed to escape that 2 bullets from that guy. And this guy here is injured and he can't fire any weapons for now. And this enemy over here doesn't have any line of sight on any enemies. So that's the end of this turn, and we'll jump on to the next turn. It's turn 8 actually. We have... Actually, before I jump to the next turn, I have this token over here that may have line of sight on my troops. So I will draw 1 card and see what it is. And it's empty, okay. So nothing over here. We still have 1 token over here and 1 there. So yeah, we'll see how it goes for the next turn. Start of turn 8, we have this enemy reinforcement that enters the table. So it's an enemy level 2, it's a rioter, so we'll again use a d6. A d6, so it's 5, it's 3 assaulter and... It's 3 assaulter and a rusher that will enter the table from a random position. So if I'm using the same point of view as before, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 6. 1, 2, 3. So from this position here we have 4 new enemies that enters the board, and after that enemies will enter the area every 3 turns, and I will again roll on the table to check that. And I'm just doing that not yeah, to just have a constant threat of enemy that keeps going to the table. So I have I need to be hurry when looting the table. I need to be more careful. So yeah, enemy will spawn and we'll jump onto the movement phase. So this new group just spawned on this side of the board, and yeah, new group of enemy will arrive every 3 turns. So I will need to keep that in mind. Here I have just a dice reminding me in which turn the new group will arrive. So yeah, starting turn 8, turn 9 we'll have a new Fog of War card. Let's jump onto the movement phase. So Alani Kelso moved on that side over here to try to kill the enemy that is moving there. We have Francis that came to the side of that car to loot that car and try to loot some dead body next turn. Shane Walsh is going down this building with his climbing kit. We have those two guys in position in the building that didn't move, and they entered Overwatch. And we have the SWAT guy over here that moved toward the dead bodies, and since we know that here we have an enemy placement token, he will throw his his stun grenade just almost at the position of that model. So let's roll a dice. That's a 3 with his shooting stat of 5. I managed to hit 8. That means that the grenade land exactly where I want. The grenade flash, it's 3 inches, so I'm just trying to find it's that template. So the grenade stun everyone that is within its radius. So basically this token here is stunned, this model is also stunned, and that one, yeah, I'm not sure. Check the camera. Yeah, that one seems to not be stunned, so this one is not stunned. So yeah, end of my movement phase. Now let's move on to the enemy movement phase. So this first enemy here moved behind the cover of the school bus, giving him +2 in defense. We have that model that is injured and stunned that is trying to move to enter close combat. This guy, he rolled double 2, which was rush, move and shoot. And rush is maximize use of cover, so he's just trying to move behind the cover of the back of the car over here. And we have that token, so I will draw 1 card for that, and it's an enemy level 1. So let's actually roll a dice. Ah, that's a 6. 2 assaulter and 1. 2 assaulter and 1 tank. Oh my god. Okay, so we have 2 new assaulter and 1 tank that arrive from that point on the table. So here are the 3 models that just spawn, and we also have that group that moved toward the back over here. For this group, I will just roll to define their action. A 2 and a 5. A 2 and a 5, careful, move and shoot, careful, maximize use of cover. So there is not a lot of cover over here, and also they are stunned, so basically they can just try to move like that, just trying to be in position, and this guy will remain on the side. And actually those 2 guys here are in Overwatch, but yeah, I'm probably not going to trigger the Overwatch. I'm going to wait and fire regular shot in the combat phase. So that's the end. Oh, actually we also have that token that moves roughly 6 inches toward the enemy, and let's draw 1 card for that, and it's empty, it's nothing there. So that's the end of the movement. All the enemies moved. Yeah, we don't have any more enemy on the table. Let's jump onto now my combat phase. So I went out of battery yesterday, and I'm feeling that the day after. So if the lighting changed a bit, that's why. So if I remember correctly, we start the combat phase for my model. So we'll start first with Alani Kelso over here. She will, so she's equipped with the Uzi. So she can't fire in automatic because she only have 2 bullets in her gun. So we'll just do a standard fire. A 3 plus her shooting stat of a 5, that's an 8. There is no bonuses or malices. Okay, there is a malices. The enemy is behind a pretty good cover behind the front of the buses. So let's give him 2 points in defense. So basically we have a 6. Let's roll defense. That's a 4 plus his 1 in defense, that's a 5. The shot hits him. Now let's check lethality. It's lethal on 5 plus. It's not lethal. Now let's check on the casualty table. That's a 4. Serious wound, the model is stunned for 2 turns and suffer -3 to their move and agility stat. He can only fire a sidearm, which he doesn't have, so he can basically just enter melee combat. So let me just take a token and place a token, so I remember that this guy is out of combat. Not strictly out of combat, but at least he can't fire his weapon. So that's that action. Francis over here will loot that vehicles. Same thing here, I'm just bringing the campaign mission resource loot table. I will do 2 rolls, a 6 and a 1. A 6 and a 1, it's 1 medicine. So 1 medicine is number 5. So Francis found some medicine, number 5. And actually he can't loot anymore since he has 2 points in agility, he already have 2 resources. So next up, this guy is going down the building, he can't do anything that turn. I have Alex Murphy with the RPK that will do a sustain fire. If static, 4 shots split within 2 inches. So he is over here with the RPK. So what he will do, he will fire at those 2 models over here. And yeah, I think the video is already pretty long, so I will resolve all the action off screen and explain what happened. So I just ended the combat phase. Alex Murphy with the RPK fired 2 bullets at the tank. I'm trying to focus a bit more. 2 bullets at the tank here with the LMG and 2 bullets at the guy on the right. He did not kill that one, the 2 bullets. Actually, yeah. I hit him twice, but it was not lethal because of the heavy body armor. This guy died instantly. Then we have our SWAT officer over here, Jim Street, fire 2 bullets at the tank, and also the 2 bullets, it was not lethal because of the heavy body armor. And finally there is Dan Espinosa with the M4 that fire at that guy over here, and he killed him. So we still have 3 enemies around that area, but they are all stunned. And actually it will be their combat phase. This guy can't use any weapon, he can just do melee combat, but he's not in melee range. But we have the tank that can fire with his LMG, but with he's stunned, so he can't fire really well. So let's check what happened that turn. With no surprise, the enemy tank over here didn't manage to touch any of my model. He just sprayed the facade with his LMG, and no bullet touched any of my model. So that's the end of that combat phase. Now we start turn 9, and turn 9 we start with 1 Fog of War card. Tipped off, all enemy force become instantly alert. Well, everyone is already alerted, so yeah, nothing basically happened that turn with the Fog of War card. We'll start with the movement phase. Yeah, I will probably Shane Walsh comes down that building and start to move to loot some of those dead body over here. Francis will do the same. Alan Kelso will probably advance toward this guy to enter melee combat with him. This guy doesn't have any ammo left in his weapon, so he will probably need to reload that turn, so he won't be able to fire. And I will leave those two over here in a good position to shoot at the enemy. They are not stunned anymore, and I really need to kill as soon as possible this enemy tank because he have a really powerful weapon. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Actually, one thing that starts to worry me is that we have this group of 4 enemy models that arrive on our side over here, and we still have 3 enemies around that part, so start to have a lot of enemies. So here, who is that? It's Alec Murphy with the RPK. He moved back, he will reload in that turn while he's in the corridor, and next turn he will move over here. We have Francis that came in to loot that dead body. Shane Walsh get down of that building and move toward this side. Annie Kelso moved in melee combat over here. And those two models just entered Overwatch, and that's yeah, that's pretty much end of my movement phase. Now we'll move the enemy. So now I have here Jim Street that will fire at the enemy tank that is advancing. So he have his trustful AKM. So we'll fire 2 bullets, rapid fire. A 4 and a 2. You have a shooting stat of 5. So that's a 7 and that's a 9. A 7 and a 9. So let's roll defense first on the 9. 4 plus 1 in defense, that's a 5, so this shot hits him. Rolling defense on that one, that's a 5, and we have a 7, so the 2 bullets hits him. Now checking lethality. Yeah, checking lethality on the first shot, it's lethal on a 4 plus. So this shot is lethal, but I need to re-roll it because of the heavy body armor. And it's lethal too, perfect! Oh my god, okay. So, yeah, I was really worried about that tank advancing towards me. So this one is killed. So this guy fired, we still have one enemy that he will be able to fire at us, but I am in a good cover. And yeah, whew, what a relief. So end of the combat phase, for me, now we have this guy that will fire. Actually, I just forget about this melee combat over here, so I will roll 1 die for Alani Kelso, 5 plus her melee stat of 6, that's pretty good. Melee combat on the enemy, that's a 4, he obviously loses the melee and he is killed. Around this area, we just have Francis Valenzuela that will loot that dead body. I will roll a die. On a 1, 2, 3, he found something, and on a 4, 5, 6, no, on 1, 2, 3 he found nothing, and on 4, 5, 6 he found something, so he found nothing on that dead body, and I will just remove it from the table. End of the combat phase. Now we'll have this enemy over here that will fire at my model Jim Street. So Jim Street over here is equipped with body armor, and he has been actually hit by this guy with his pistol, but subtracting -1 to the lethality roll, it didn't affect him, so he's not injured. End of the combat phase. Now we can move on to turn 10. In one turn, a new enemy reinforcement will enter the board from a random edge, so it's a constant threat. Like, enemy will constantly arrive on the board, so we need to escape as soon as possible. So let's move on to my movement phase. End of my movement phase. Those two models move into base contact of some dead bodies to try to loot them. We have Alani Kelso that move in the middle of the street, not exactly to, yeah, those civilians just probably run off because of the firefight. So they run off. Alani Kelso moved around here to try to kill that enemy model over here. We have Jim Street that made a U-turn, trying to focus on the enemy that arrived from this side. Here we have Alex Murphy with his just reloaded AKM that advanced toward that door, and we have Adan Espinosa with his M4 that is on that window waiting for the enemy to arrive. And that's the end of my my movement turn. Now onto the enemy. So here the rusher just rushed toward my SWAT guy, but he's not in melee range, and then those three guys advance, and this guy over here didn't move. So now we can start the combat phase. Alani Kelso will fire a first shot with her Uzi, where we just have one ammo left. Yep. That's a 3 plus shooting stat of 5, 5, 6, that's an 8. There is no way he can beat that, so now let's roll lethality. 5, and it's a 5 plus lethality, so this guy is killed. Now we'll have Jim Street that will fire, so this, I will just remove that, there is no ammo left in the Uzi. So we have Jim Street that will fire, actually, oh damn, I forget that. He can't fire that turn. Yeah, he fires his 2 last bullets on the enemy tank. He can't fire that turn. Oh my, that's really too bad. This turn he will need to reload. Okay, so we have those two models over here that can fire. So we have him with the RPK. He will fire in automatic at that model over here. So firing in automatic, 3 shots, 6, 1 and a 2. Rolling defense on the 6, that's a hit. Rolling defense on the 2 is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a 6. And the second shot also hits him, so 2 shots hits him, he is killed. And so this one we only have 3 ammo remaining. And then the last one is Dan Espinosa with his M4 sub mode. He will just do a standard fire, 1 bullet, that's a 6. So he just fire at the one on the rear with the M16. 1 fire, that's a 6. Let's roll defense. That's yeah, it's an hit. Now let's checking lethality. Lethal on a 4 plus. It's not lethal, but it's a really pretty bad wound, a 6. So he's just instantly unconscious, and he can't do anything that turn. Okay, so yeah, end of my combat phase. So Jim Street over here will reload his AKM. He's back at full capacity. We have those two guys over here that will loot the dead bodies. So so yeah, I will roll 2 die, and again on a 4, 5, 6 I found something. A 1 and a 2, okay. So this guy Don't find anything on him, and this guy too. So that's the end of that part. Anish Kelso fired. And yeah, end of the combat phase. We can now move on to the enemy combat phase. Okay, so really bad news. The enemy model that is over here with assault rifle, I think he has an AK. He just fired at Alex Murphy in a rapid fire, and one of the shots hits him, and it was casualty table. It was a serious wound. The model is stunned for 2 turns, suffer -3 to their move and agility stat, and can only fire a sidearm. So it's a serious wound. This guy, Alex Murphy, he can't use anymore his M4 SOP mode for the remainder of the game. He can still use his sidearm, his pistol, but he's injured, and next game he won't be able to be deployed. He will need to be healed by the doctor. So that's yeah, that's not a good news. We have a new injured model. So now that's the end of the combat phase. Now let's move on to the next turn. Start of the new turn, some enemy reinforcement arrive on the board, and until the end of the mission it will be a level 1 enemy. So I just roll 1 die, it's a 1, okay, that's fine, it's just one assaulter that will arrive from a random table edge. So same number since the beginning of the mission. That's a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, so they arrive from this area, which is actually my extraction point, but yeah, there is just one assaulter. I don't have that many assaulter left. I only have 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. It will be this woman here with her pistol. So she will enter the area from that part of the board, and this resets the reinforcement counter. And again, in 3 turns, some new enemy will arrive on the board. So now let's move on to the movement phase. End of my movement phase, Shane Walsh moved toward the MV to try to loot it, and Francis will loot the dead body. Alan Kelso moved toward that dead body over here. Jim Street moved in melee combat with the rioters and his baseball bat. And those 2 guys over here just stay there and entered Overwatch. So now let's move on to the enemy movement phase, and we just have that enemy over here, so let's check what he will do. 2 and a 2. 2 and a 2 is a rush, move and shoot. Rush, it's rush is as flank, indirect pass. Yeah, shortest pass toward the enemy, move around terrain or cover. So they try to stay in cover. I think his best bet would be maybe to come toward this dumpster over here. And actually it will trigger the Overwatch for that guy over here with the RPK. He will fire a standard fire. I think when it's in Overwatch he can't do any automatic or sustained fire, so we'll just do a standard fire. Standard fire, let's roll that. A 3. Plus his shooting stat of 3, that's a 6, plus 1 of elevation, but -1 of the Overwatch, so that's still a 6. Yeah, no more modifier, so that's a 6. Rolling defense. That's a 5, plus 1 in defense, okay, so it's not a hit, it's a miss. So what I will do is trigger the Overwatch for Dan Espinosa. Dan Espinosa normally have a shooting stat of 3, but since he is injured, he have a shooting stat of 1. So we'll do a standard fire that will remove 1 ammo token. So yeah, let's first roll the die. So that's a 3. Plus 1 of his shooting stat, that's a 4. Plus 1 of compact, that's a 5, and plus 1 of elevation, -1 of Overwatch, that's still a 5. Now let's roll defense. Ah, that's a 6, damn. Okay, so the 2 guy over here missed him, and he just moved toward my guy Jim Street. So now let's move on to the combat phase. Start of the combat phase, Jim Street will enter, is in melee combat, so he will beat with just a 2, so he will try to kick him. Now let's roll for the enemy. It's also a 2, so actually that's perfect because the rioters have a melee of 2 because he's a rusher. He have an extra point in melee, that's a 3. But 3 plus 2, that's a 5, and Jim Street start with a melee of 6, so Jim Street just kill him. The problem is that we have the enemy over here that is in line of sight with Jim Street, and you try to kill him. We'll see what happens. So here we have Francis that will loot that dead body. Please tell me I found something. We'll try with that dice. 6, perfect, I found something. Now let's check the quality. 4, standard quality, and my deck are over here. I will also check if Shane Walsh found something in the MV. Rolling. It's a 1, it didn't find anything. So we found something out on that dead body. And let's check what it is. It's a weapon, so it's in that deck over here. And it's a Fall Shorty. Looking great, and you have a really good lethality, so that's cool. I don't need it right now, so I will just put it on my back. Who found that weapon? It's Francis. So yeah, we'll just put that on the side for using it on a future mission. So that's the and now we also have Alani Kelso that will try to loot that dead body. That's a 5. She also found something. Checking quality. 4. It's same deck, and damn, I need some pistol. It's an AK-12. Okay, also yeah, just a basic assault rifle. You have the rapid fire rule, pretty cool, but yeah, don't really need that at the moment. I will also place that on the side. And yeah, that's the end of my combat phase. Now, moving on to the enemy combat phase. Start of the enemy combat phase, we have this model that will fire at Jim Street, which is not in cover, so that's not really great. Let's roll to check if it's the standard fire or a rapid fire. 1, 2, 3, it's a standard fire. So, rolling that. It's a 3 plus his shooting stat of 2, that's a 5. Let's roll defense on Jim Street. So that's a 5, he beat that, and he also have anyway a body armor, so the shot missed him. Perfect. So yeah, that's the end of that turn. We can move on to the next turn. New turn, end of my movement phase. Shane Walsh move toward that car to try to loot it. We have Francis that run toward this dead body. He won't be able to loot that turn. We have Alani Kelso that move in contact to this Black Tusk dead body, and if she found something, it will be a high-end gear, so that will be really cool. On this side, we have Alex Murphy that moved toward the dumpsters, and that here we have Dan Espinosa that is injured, that is waiting, and next turn he will go down. And we have Jim Street that just moved in melee combat to that guy that dodged all the weapons from the other police officer, so yeah, safer with entering melee combat. And now, yeah, let's move on to the enemy movement phase, and actually there is just that enemy over here that will move 6 inches toward the gunfight area. And yeah, that's the end of this movement phase. Now let's jump onto the combat phase. Combat phase, we have this melee fight over here. So let's roll for Jim Street. That's a 5 plus a 6, that's a 9. Rolling defense for the enemy, that's a 5. 7 against the 9, so I beat that one, so he is killed. And end of the combat phase. No one else to shoot at. So here Shane Walsh will try to loot that car. So same thing here. A 3 and a 4. A 3 and a 4. Let's check the table. I think it's something. Yes, a 3 and a 4. It's some ammo. And ammo is number 3 on the dice. So we'll just take number 3. Shane Walsh finds some ammo on that car. And we have also Alani Kelso that will try to loot that Black Tusk dead body. So let's roll a dice, and it's a 3. Damn, I found nothing on her. So let's remove the Black Tusk dead body. And yeah, that's the end of that turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, end of that turn. Let's move on to the next turn. Start of the new turn, end of my movement phase. Shane Walsh move toward that car and he will try to loot it. So same thing over here, 1 black, 1 white dice. It's a 4 and a 6, so I found something. Checking on the table. What is it? Is 5 and a 6. A 5 and a 6, it's some intel. Intel, it's number 6 on the dice. So number 6 on the dice, Shane Walsh found some intel. Next up, we have Francis Valenzuela that will try to loot that dead body. So this is just a standard roll. 4, he found something, checking quality. Not a 6, so it's a standard card. I will do the same here. We have those 2 police officers that are in contact with 2 bodies, so I will do the same over here. Nothing found on the first one, something found on the second one, checking quality, standard quality card. And so we have 2 cards, and then we also have Alani Kelso here that is in contact with that model. So let's check for her. She found something, checking quality, standard card. So 3 cards, 3 dead bodies, so it's 3 weapons. Okay, perfect. A first pistol. Oh, a shotgun. Finally a shotgun, not my preferred one. And a new silence weapon. Yeah. Okay, so that's the roll. That's cool. We have a nice shotgun, but that fire only 2 bullets. We have this this Colt M4. Yeah, we have a Colt and a Mac 10. That's really cool. I will just take all of that and put them aside for the next mission. But I'm really happy with those draw. And yeah, I will just remove the dead bodies I've looted. Jim Street here entered Overwatch. And yeah, that's end of my movement phase. We can now jump onto the enemy movement phase. Enemy movement phase, so this model over here just enter line of sight on my SWAT guy, but I'm just going to wait and fire in the combat phase. And actually I will do that right now. He will fire 2 bullets in rapid fire. 6 and a 4. Even the 4, there is no way she can beat that with a shooting stat of 5. So it's automatically a kill. And 2 ammo are removed from that weapon. So yeah, end of that turn. Let's move on to the next turn. Next turn, a new enemy enter the area, so let's roll a dice. 2, it's 2 assaulter. Now let's roll to define the entry points. It's 6. It's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, actually it's right there. So don't look at all the pile of enemies, just the dead bodies I've removed from the board. But actually I have 2 assaulters that enter the area from that side, just next to Shane Walsh. That's not a good news. I will place down the 2 rioters and we can jump onto that next turn. End of my movement phase, so the 2 guys just spawn over here. Shane Walsh did a combat sprint up here. He won't be able to fire or shoot, but at least he's pretty good cover. Francis moved toward that car to loot it. We have Alani Kelso that will loot those 2 bodies over here. And then we have our pack over here that has moved toward the exit. So we have this guy that will loot that dead body, this guy that will loot that dead body, and Shane and Jim Street that will loot that. And we have the 2 civilians in the middle with the basically the police officer that try to protect the civilians. So that's the end of my movement phase. Now let's move on to the enemy movement phase. So I just roll a 2 and a 3 on the Zablan Doctrine, and a 2 and a 3 it's hold and shoot, so those models won't move actually that turn, they will just yeah, they will just wait and shoot, but they are nothing in their line of sight. So now we can do the looting. So here we have 3 dead bodies to loot, and we have a 4th one with Alani Kelso. All of them are rioters, so if I found something, let's roll all together at the same time. So nothing found, as you can see. 3, 2, 2, and a 1, so nothing found on those 4 bodies. Okay, not much luck on that one. And we have 1 resources, no, it's 1 equipment for Francis over here. So let's try actually another dice, maybe that one will have more luck. A 6. So I found something in that MV, and it's a standard card. So let's check that. Standard card, it's that one, and it's an holster. Allow 1 use of this model sidearm outside of the combat phase. Also, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'll keep that for the next mission. So that's the end of my movement phase and combat phase, and yeah, we can jump onto the next turn. So end of the movement phase. We have Alani Kelso that moved over here on the Black Tusk, Francis on the back of the car, and Shane Walsh on that side. And let's actually do the loot roll for that model first. So Alani Kelso will loot that Black Tusk. A 6, she found something, and actually it can't be higher than IN. On Black Tusk you find only IN gear, so let's actually draw 1 card from the IN deck. Ooh, yes! It's a sniper rifle, a pretty good sniper rifle. Okay, that's perfect, so we have the first shotgun and the first sniper rifle in the campaign. That's cool. So this guy is looted. Now Francis on the back of the red car will try to loot that red car for resources. So a 1 and a 5. A 1 and a 5, he actually found nothing on that car, that's a shame. Shane Walsh, not in contact with anything, but next turn he might be able to recruit some civilian on this back alley. Now let's check the resource for this group over here. We still have the civilian in the middle, and 2 police guys are in contact with 2 vehicles. So let's roll to find if we find some equipments. A 5 and a 1, so we find 1 standard equipment. Yes, it's a standard quality. So checking that, it's... oops, sorry, it's not that deck, it's that deck. It's... oh, cool! A gas mask that will allow me to enter the dark zone or some contaminated building, and I will explain that rule when I get there. So that's cool. That's a cool, and here we have the enemy group that move toward the gunfight happening in the middle of the board. So that's the end of that turn. Let's move on to the next turn. End of that turn, this group is moving toward the exit. We just have this guy over here that will try to loot the back of the military truck, and a 1, he found nothing. Those enemy here is trying to find the guy they saw toward those cars, but he just ran off. He's actually in the middle of the street, this alley over here, but he ran. He can't do a command test to try to recruit them. Alani Kelso moved on top of that truck and moved back toward that car, and Francis will try to loot that dead body. So let's roll for this dead body first. He found nothing on that dead body. And now let's roll to find some resource on that car. A 5 and a 6. A 5 and a 6. And some more intels. Damn, I need some food. I need some food. Intel is 6. 6. So Alani Kelso found some intel, so I'm just placing an intel dice on her stat card. Okay, so we found some resources, but not the one I really wanted. And I don't have any more I don't have any more vehicles to loot to find some resources nearby. Well, anyway, that's the end of my movement. That's the end of that turn. We'll jump onto the next turn, and actually it's the end of the game, so we have those models over here that will just come toward the exit. And same thing for the police officer here. he will just rush toward the exit. We already recruited 2 civilians, that's enough. And yeah, over here we'll just escape all of them by this side of the board. And yeah, that's the end of that mission. That was pretty tense, lots of stuff did happen. I did not manage to loot all those dead bodies over here. That's a bit of a shame, but yeah, it's the game. Yeah, it was a really good game. Let me know what you think of some of the new mechanics introduced in that mission, and well, I will see you for the next one. Bye everyone.